You're all set to begin.
So today is Thursday, March 6, 2025. The time is 10:05. My name is Amy Croto, Senior Natural Resource Officer and Hearing Officer assigned to this dog hearing today. I'll read into the record the notice dated February 14th, 2025 from the Town Manager's Office to Mr. Jason Derrick of 44 Pilgrim Lane, Hyannis, Mass. 02601. Dear Mr. Derrick, I've scheduled a hearing under the provisions of Chapter 140, Section 157 of the Massachusetts General Laws on March 6, 2025 at 10 a.m. based on a complaint received regarding dogs harbored by youth. The complaint states that the dogs are dangerous, which is in violation of the Town of Barnstable dog regulations, specifically Chapter 403-15. The hearing will take place at Town Hall, 367 Main Street, Hyannis, Mass., in the Selectmen's Conference Room on the second floor. You'll be given every opportunity to be heard at this time. I request that you make every effort to attend this hearing. Sincerely, Mark S. Ells, Town Manager. Notice was delivered in hand on the 19th of February at 1:30 p.m. to Jason Derrick and Kendra Stand by Senior Animal Control Officer Charlie Lewis. At this moment, anyone who is providing testimony in this hearing, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the evidence you're about to give in this matter is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we will start by just reading the complaint into the record that was received at the Town Manager's Office. I don't see what date it was received, but it was received. From a Diane Kovanda, is that how you say her name? Okay. And this is regarding dogs owned by Jason Derrick at 44 Pilgrim Lane, 2 Cane Corsos, Nimbrew, and Starboroughs. The complaint states as facts at 5 p.m. on the 10th of February, walking my dog on leash at Eugenia Ford's Beach, Hyannisport, near the dock. From far away, a Cane Corso, 150 to 200 pound dog, raced at us, took me down, bit my leg, arm, and my dog. Owner Derrick ran over with his other dog and released it as I was fighting off the first dog and bit me, my dog, Tara, who is injured. My right elbow is injured. There was a follow-up email that was sent by Diane to Tracy Smith at the Town Manager's Office, which states, hello, I was attacked by 2 Cane Corso dogs on this Monday, February 10th at Eugenia Ford's Beach, Hyannisport on February 10th, approximately 5 p.m. I would like to add to the report, please. I was walking my small 5-year-old dog on a leash at the beach. Far away from a huge dog came running at me, bit my leg and arm, and also attacked my dog, Tara. Owner Jason Derrick, who was identified later, came at us. I thought he was getting his dog off me, but he released his other huge dog, who both went at us like a dog pack, biting me and my dog. The next morning, I went to urgent care Hyannis. My right elbow and arm and legs were bitten by the 2 Cane Corsos over my coat, which caused pressure swelling, not open bites, but my right arm is now in serious pain now that shock has worn off. The officers were very helpful, and I refused ambulance at the time of incident because my dog was traumatized and I couldn't leave her. Yesterday, I brought her to the vet first thing in the morning, and vet Tom Munson shaved where the bites were to clean the wounds. I'm including photos of the dogs who attacked me. The guy Jason Derrick posts all over Facebook. I was so in shock. I'm not sure I was making sense to Officer Stoner. My dog Tara was on leash, and we were far away from the jetty at Long Hyannisport Dock, where Jason Derrick and his wife and dogs were running around. I had turned around to walk the other way because one of them started running towards us. Derrick did not leave the other dog with his wife, but let it on me as the other dog had me down as Jason Derrick smoked his cigarette. Both dogs attacked me and my small 15-year-old Whippet Lab. I was screaming, help me, from the ground, and he seemed to make no effort to get his dogs off me. I had outdated pepper spray, which I was able to spray one of the dogs off my lower right leg, then it was empty. I would like to add photos from the vet yesterday to your report, or have your police photographer take some new shots with the bites exposed. If the passerby, Gary Blazes, didn't call 911 and your officers didn't respond so quickly, I think the dogs would have caught up with me again. I would like to distinguish that this was an attack on me and my dog, not a dog fight. Charlie, dog officer, has added to this report. Thank you. Please let me know how to proceed adding to the report. And you did supply pictures of the wounds to your dog Tara that were subsequently treated. We have the pictures that were submitted of Jason with at least one, if not both, of his dogs. We were given a copy of the vet bill. In addition, a copy of a picture of, I'm assuming, Tara just out on a day at the beach, and then a picture, I'm assuming, of how the wound is healing. I was given a Barnstable Police incident report from Patrol Officer Nicholas Stoner, which states on February 10th, 2025, I Patrol Stoner was assigned to uniform patrol in the town of Barnstable and marked Cruiser E215. At approximately 16:49 hours, I was dispatched to Forts Beach, Hyannis for a report of a dog bite. Note, during the event described in this report, I was wearing my department-issued body-worn camera. This report serves only as a summation of facts and circumstances. Please refer to the BWC footage for any additional details. Upon arrival, I spoke with Jason Derrick, who stated that while he was walking his dogs on the beach, they were loose and went after another dog. Other officers arrived on scene and attended to Diane Cavanda, who were located on the beach. Diane could be heard hysterically crying from a great distance away from the trauma induced by the incident. Derrick was bleeding from his left middle finger and required to be bandaged. He stated that he was not aware which one of his dogs had inflicted the wound. He knew that this occurred when he was trying to get his dog Starbrose and Nimbu off Cavanda's dog, Tara. Derrick's dogs both appeared to be very aggressive and agitated, even though they were secured in Derrick's vehicle. Derrick's dogs did not sustain any reported injuries by Derrick. I received the following email from Cavanda regarding the incident. The next morning I went to Urgent Care Hyannis. This essentially looks to be the same email that was supplied to the town manager's staff, so I'm not going to read through it again. There was, at the bottom of the police report, notes Starbrose and Nimbu are cane Corso dogs, which are very large in size. Both Derrick and Cavanda were evaluated by Hyannis Fire, which both parties had signed to refuse. BCI CIO Percy responded to photograph Cavanda's dog, as well as redness on her body from the incident. Cavanda did not sustain bites that broke the skin, however, did receive a series of bites that resulted in pressure-related injury. Additional photographs sent by Cavanda are attached to this report. Further follow-up and reporting conducted by Animal Control. Submitted by Animal Control Officer Cynthia Sherman on Monday, February 10th, 2025 at approximately 4:45 p.m. I was dispatched by Barnstable Police to Forts Beach for a dog bite. On arrival, Hyannis Fire Rescue and Barnstable PD were both present. Diane Cavanda was standing with BPD crying, holding her dog's leash. She stated that she was walking her dog on leash on the beach when another dog came running at her and her 15-year-old white old mixed breed dog named Tara. Ms. Cavanda said she threw herself on her dog, trying to protect her as the dog was being bitten by a cane corso. Ms. Cavanda then stated that the owner let the second dog go and she was bitten on the right forearm and right leg. There was blood on her sleeve and her pants were all wet. She said that she had plenty of layers under her pants and she thinks that the injuries are just bruises. As they were checked by Hyannis Fire Department, Ms. Cavanda's dog had some blood near the left ear and neck. She also had blood marks on her rear end by the base of her tail. Cavanda is going to take her dog to the vet tomorrow. She said she couldn't afford emergency medical care and the dog's wounds didn't seem too severe. I discussed dog hearing procedures with her and told her we would mail one out in the morning. Jason Derrick stated that his male dog, Starbrose, got loose from his leash and ran towards the woman and her dog. Derrick and his wife both told me that Derrick ran after the dog with the second dog on leash with him. He reached in to pull the dogs apart and was bitten on the finger. He did not realize at the time that the female Nimbu bit the woman. Derrick stated that the dog must have thought her brother was in trouble. Both dogs were placed on a 10-day in-house quarantine scheduled to be released on the 20th of February 2025. Both dogs' licenses have lapsed, but they are current on their rabies vaccinations. And then I do have copies of both the quarantines that were ordered for both dogs and that they were released on the 21st of February. We did receive a fax for notice of possible exposure to rabies and quarantine order, and that was for the dog Whippet Lab Mix Tara following the event. And we also did receive a report of a domestic animal bite from Cape Cod Urgent Healthcare as it pertains to Diane's injuries that were sustained. In addition, I was given a copy of an incident that occurred in 2024, and in this report supplied by Senior Animal Control Officer Charles Lewis, It states on March 5th, 2024, Mr. Jason Derek called and reported his dog Starbro scratched a woman's hand on March 4th, 2024. Derek states the incident occurred in Fairhaven, Mass. While at a Marshall's parking lot, 6 Fairhaven Commons Way. Derek states Kendra Stand was unloading their 2 dogs from his vehicle. Derek states he moved his vehicle to the Walmart parking lot to wait for the Fairhaven police, which he called to report the incident. The officer issued a 10-day quarantine in hand to Derek on the 5th of March, 2024. At this time, I wasn't able to obtain the victim's information. On March 6, 2024, the officer received a report via fax from Fairhaven, Mass. Police Department on the incident. The injured victim is now known as Donna Blaringame. Blasingame or Blaringame? It has both, I'm not sure. And I spoke by phone. I advised both dogs owned by Derek were current on rabies vaccination and dog licenses. Blasingame states both dogs were involved. Starbro's got her left hand, which drew blood, and Nimbu got her right hand bruise only. Treatment was provided on scene by Fairhaven Fire Department. Information on dog hearings was provided when Blasingame requested/suggested the dog should be muzzled when off the owner's property. The quarantine process was explained. Animal Control Office number was provided. So now that we have read all of that into the record, I will take testimony from the complainants who brought forth the complaint. I just ask that you identify yourself prior to speaking so we have that in the recording.
My name is Diane Cavanda. You've covered it all except from my primary MD, which urgent care said I needed to go to. And she looked at, but my teeth had bitten through the bottom lip on the inside, and I had sent that report to the town manager, Tracy, the assistant.
Okay.
And she has examined the arm, and it works, but there's a weird crunch and pain inside it. So that's in my own medical record.
Mm-hmm.
You covered everything exactly as it was. The part that may be up for interpretation is that I was walking away from quite far away. That was at least 1/8 of a mile from the dock to the jetty where they were. And so as we were walking away, I got pounced on first, and I didn't even know what happened. And I want to say I'm 62 years old. I'm a senior citizen, and I'm quite large. I'm just going to stand up because I am 165 pounds, and this took me right down. And if this was a child, or, I mean, I have nightmares now, but if this was an older person than me, or a child, I don't see how they could have survived it. I punched the first dog so hard and got it off of me, and it went right to Tara, and then I did throw my body across Tara when the other dog came. It was just a crazy scene. I've never been attacked, and I've been a dog owner all my life. And I also don't see why the first dog, when it attacked me, why Mr. Derek didn't keep the other dog with his wife, who was so far away with the other dog. Why did he bring it? Then it became a pack attack.
Okay.
And I also want to make clear that there was only myself, the witness after the fact that called 911, Gary Blasis, and Mr. Derek and his wife or partner. There weren't any other people there.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought my friend Jennifer, who's a retired police officer.
Okay.
Who came after that night after, because I couldn't even sleep. And I can get you the medical report from my primary, because she checked out my whole body after the urgent care said I needed to go see my primary. And there was a bite here that did break skin. I just kept saying, I'm okay, because I kept trying to calm myself down. And when I was pounced on, obviously my head hit the ice, so my teeth broke through my lip.
Yeah.
And again, that's not, to me, anything serious, but it is provided by the medical doctor that this happened.
Yep, I understand.
Thank you.
Injuries that were sustained
Yeah.
as a result of the interaction.
And I also want to say I'm a justice of the peace, and I've never had an incident. I've never had a lawsuit. I don't know how to deal with something like this.
Okay. Well, as it pertains to the behavior of the dogs, dog hearings are the place to address that. There are, civil recourses for any, like I had mentioned, vet bills for injuries that were sustained to your personal body that take place outside of this dog hearing.
Sure. I understand.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add at this time? I'm just gonna ask you guys, because of the recording.
You stop talking, please.
Sorry.
Thank you.
So just because you guys just got here, I will have you sign in after the fact. The way that this goes is we're taking testimony right now from the complainants. All of the information has been read into the record. And then after that, we'll have an opportunity from here to hear from anyone who's in support of, the dogs. And then we'll hear from Patrolman Stoner and then Animal Control Officer Charlie Lewis. All discussion comes directly to me, not at one another. And because of the sensitivity of the recording equipment in this room, we can't have anybody like chatting on the side. If you have something you desperately need to say, somebody take it out into the hallway, okay? All right.
One last thing I wanna, you said not to mention the money, and I'm not going to here, but I cannot afford all these bills. My friend gave me a house to stay in for a month on the beach, so I could like get some relaxation and pull my life together, and my life fell apart there.
Understood.
So I just wanna make it clear, I'm not your average super rich Hyannis Port person.
Okay. Jennifer?
Hey, Jen Van Gelder. I'm a friend of Diane. She called me the day it happened, or the late afternoon. I drove right over. I found her sitting on the floor with her back against the wall, her head in her hands, saying, I don't understand this, I can't believe this happened. You don't know Diane, she is an extremely evolved, strong woman. And to see her like this was disturbing to me. And her precious dog Tara, who I've walked with my dogs on that beach, was mauled. The anus rip was particularly distressing to me. I've never seen Diane like that. It was heartbreaking. She's a very good soul. I know it's just the facts here. So the facts I can tell you is this affected my friend, and she has not walked on the beach yet, and I'm gonna start walking with her to make that safe again. I've been to maulings. They're very serious. My heart always goes out for the animal, because we all love pups and dogs, but if this dog goes forward, the next time it could be someone who didn't have the wherewithal to fight this off, and there could be a death. And Tara is just the sweetest little dog. So that's an emotional side, and I know that doesn't really play into this, but I have a huge concern of what could happen going forward with an innocent person with a sweet little pup.
Okay.
And it's all heartbreaking.
Yes, unfortunately,
It is.
these types of incidents
Yeah.
are unfortunate, but they do happen.
Yeah, and I know pups are very good with their owners, but some just aren't with strangers and dogs.
Yeah.
Okay, enough said.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so at this point, we will hear from our defendants. I would request that we hear from Jason and from Kendra first because they were there the day of the incident. What I'm sort of blindly assuming is that the rest of you are here to speak to the temperament of the dogs. Okay, so Jason, if you want to start first.
Sure. Hi, my name is Jason Derrick. The following is going to be my official statement because I wasn't asked for one at the time. Besides, like, to give a brief summary of what happened, wasn't even asked to give a statement. So.
Would you mind if I make a copy of that after the hearing for the record?
Well, this one's kind of a mess. It's got side notes, but.
That's okay.
And there's things on here I'm not even reading in this right now, so I would rather not leave this one with you.
Okay, then we'll just we'll refer to the actual recording.
All right, thank you. Hello, my name is Jason Derrick. These are the events that happened, that transpired on February 10th. I was at Eugenia Fortes Beach at approximately 5 p.m. where this would be a less active time at the beach with my dog, as this is the best place for physical therapy for my dog Starburst that has Wobbler syndrome, a degenerative condition to eventually cause full paralysis and death. His life expectancy was only 3 years old, 4 possibly, and we're very grateful for the time that we have had with him. I feel it's his physical therapy at the beach that's led to his longevity. My wife was down the beach with my male dog, Starburst, and I was at a different part of the beach with my dog, Nimbu. And Starburst got away from Kendra, ran about 100 yards down the beach, and sat in front of Diane Cavanda because she was yelling at him and she had her hand outstretched with a black canister in her hand, which I later found out was pepper spray, and that my dog was pepper sprayed. And that this is what triggered his attack on her dog. And he pushed past her and knocked her over when he pushed past her to get to her dog. And I was about 20 yards away when I saw this happen. I yelled, no. He, with one swift bite, he grabbed her dog by the neck, pinned it to the ground. I had no choice but to run to the situation with my female dog to try, because Kendra was too far away to bring the dog back to her. And I ran down the beach, and like I said, when I got 20 yards away, this is what I seen. I seen her standing there with her hand outstretched with her dog positioned behind her to protect itself. And my dog was sitting in front of her, barking at her. And then suddenly, my dog went around her and went after her dog, which is, I feel, is that she used her pepper spray at that moment, and that's what triggered my dog to attack her dog, because he had just ran down and sat in a heel position. Because she was yelling familiar commands at him, like, stop, no, don't. And he sat down. Because that's what we do at home, because he's super slobbery, and everybody's like, stop, no, don't, when he tries to go near him, because they don't want to get covered in slobber. And then on top of his breed being slobbery, which is Cane Corso, he's also on medications that makes him super slobbery. So that's how I feel that it's not justified that they're saying that because of slobber on her legs proves that she was bit on her legs, when there was supposedly no bruising reported on her legs. I saw my dog go straight for her dog, bite it, and put it to the ground. He didn't bite at her. As she got a bite on her finger, I imagine that was for her trying to get my dog off of my dog. At least that's what I had heard. That's how my finger got bit, because when I took my dog's mouth off of hers, her dog turned it at me and bit when it was free to be able to defend itself. It wasn't trying to bite me, it wasn't trying to be vicious towards me, but it happened, you know? And my female dog ended up joining in, thinking she was defending me and her brother because she saw that happen. I wasn't there, have any ill intent to sick my dogs on somebody. It was an unfortunate incident. My dog got away from my wife well on leash. They were both leashed and ran down the beach. And I didn't find this out about the pepper spray until I saw the police report. And Meanwhile, I could have treated my dog for his symptoms related to pepper spray because he was sneezing and rubbing his face all night, like there was something wrong. And I had no idea. Nobody informed me at the scene, which I would have been able to give a better account of the events at the time if I was. Also, sorry, I got off track on my notes here.
It's okay.
So just give me a sec to regain where I'm at. Okay, I was only able to get my dogs off of Diane's dog, Tara. I was not able to move to a safe distance as I was having an asthma attack and could only hold in place enough away where they could not engage again. And Diane would not move and was yelling accusations of purposeful intent while I was telling Diane, you have to move, you have to get away to a safe distance. I'm doing everything I can, seeing I'm having an asthma attack. The animal control officer at the time that responded had, no, sorry, that's a different spot. I later, yeah, I already discussed this. I firmly believe that the use of pepper sprays, which is what provoked this attack, which I could have regained control of and prevented. If Diane had not done so, and if I had been informed of this at the time, I could have provided a more accurate account of the events. It was a regrettable incident that we have taken measures to ensure that this doesn't happen again by seeking training, as well as the veterinary behaviors. We've also seeked out Patrick Martin, who's part of, I believe it was called Animal Behavioral Services or something like that. I forget what the name of the training company. I reached out to them. Canine Training Services, that's what it was. I hope this statement provides a clear and accurate account of the events that transpired. I am willing to provide any additional information or context necessary to clarify the incident. I also would like to add that my dogs, I'm not trying to make light of the situation by saying so, but my dogs have over a 2,000 pound bite force. If he was looking to maim or kill her dog, he could have. He didn't. He restrained it down to the ground after he was sprayed by pepper spray in defense. And I feel my dog Nimbu was confused about the situation, running up on it, got all worked up. And if that didn't happen, I could have called him away and this would have all been avoided. Because he ran up and sat down in front of her. That doesn't show a dog that's intent on trying to harm or kill somebody. That shows restraint.
Okay.
I already mentioned about the leashes.
Yes, so they were on leash, but that Starburst got
Also,
away from
at the
Kendra.
time, I was on the messenger call with my stepson, who is a witness.
Oh, okay.
Kendra wasn't able to get down the beach because she's disabled. She would have been right there if she was able to run. She wears leg braces and is legally blind and has MS.
Okay.
So, and you know, also, we're not rich people here either, living in high ends. We struggle in our day-to-day life just trying to get by, and it's not like we're made of money either. Just wanted to point that out.
Okay.
But I would be willing to try and pay for her veterinary bills or whatever, if that's if she needs help with that.
Yeah, like I said, that, you know, that's, those types of discussions for those civil issues take place outside of this hearing room. This hearing is specific to the behavior of the dogs and the temperament of the dogs under our town of Barnstable dog regulations. So all of that would be handled separately outside of this room.
Okay.
But if, you know, if you're just saying it because you want just to have that be a part of the record, then that's fine.
I also would like to say that my dogs grew up around cats, multiple cats. Another dog that we had, a Great Dane, that was a service dog for Kendra. And our two grandchildren, one of which is here, Coral, and then my other granddaughter, Marina.
Okay.
And that they've been around babies and everything.
Okay.
I have friends that come over that they've been able to see them too.
And just for my own understanding, how old is Starrose?
They're about to turn 4 on the 27th.
Okay. 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 Okay, to move on
To the next person, sure.
to, yep.
Oh, wait, there was a couple of points I wrote down, but when you were speaking. I had never stated that my dog Nimbu had bit her. I never stated that at all. I never stated my dog Nimbu bit her. I said my dog Nimbu bit her dog, hind legs from behind, that my dog Nimbu went at her dog from behind. So I never said that my dogs had attacked her at all. Nimbu never was involved also in Fairhaven. That wasn't her. That was just her brother.
Okay.
So I don't know why she's mentioned that, because I didn't do the quarantine for her.
There's, these are just the reports that were submitted to me by the people who put together the reports, and those are often interdepartmental, reports that don't necessarily contain all of the information that's known, and sometimes contain information that may, have gotten lost in translation, basically.
Also,
Right,
I'd like to mention that Diane said she slipped on ice. There is no ice on the beach. It's sand.
Okay. Okay.
I think that's it for me, Kendra, when she's ready for you to speak.
Yep, Kendra, you're more than welcome to speak now.
Do you need to look at any of these things?
I can't really remember. I'm sorry, I have a problem with memory.
Okay.
And I can't remember what I was gonna say. Because Jason, you covered it pretty much all, other than, during this whole process, I was told that the dog, and I was told by a dog officer, that the dog had his bum ripped out. And that, this was a serious situation, and that, they were gonna put him down, all this kind of stuff. And so this whole time, we're going around thinking that this is what happened. And thinking that the dog was mauled to pieces and all this junk. And it never happened. The dog was never mauled. The dog didn't get any stitches. And seriously, if my dog was going to maul anybody or anything, there'd be a lot more than saliva, because I was also, when I was there, that came up, and there was a dog officer there. And I told him, I said, what's going on? Oh, well, they're saying she got bitten. I'm like, that's impossible. I said, she was sitting on the ground. She's sitting on the ground between 3 dogs. Well, she got saliva on her leg. And I'm like, yeah, but you have three dogs in the midst of all this, plus the breed of the dog. Of course you're gonna have saliva going, especially if you plant yourself in the middle of the, the situation. And I was told that was enough.
Okay.
And I just don't appreciate the fact that I was lied to about the situation. I mean, it put me through hell. I mean, thinking that this was gonna happen, especially when it was, so serious. And I get that you want, when people want us to take this seriously, but I don't have to be scared to be taken seriously. just knowing what happened is enough. I don't need someone to sit there and try and scare me or this and that and et cetera. But I did want to add that. And I don't, but I would like to know if I can remember more, if I would be able to say that at the end of this, like.
Yeah, so like I had mentioned in the beginning, we'll hear from everybody and then you'll be given an opportunity to be heard again. If there's anything that you would like to add, it just goes in the same sort of circular format. So if something does come back to mind, you will have another opportunity to add that to the record.
Well, I would just also like to add that we weren't allowed to check our dogs, we weren't allowed to take them out of the car to see if they're okay. Nothing, and it just wasn't fair. So I guess that's pretty much all I really wanted to say.
Okay.
But like I said, the dogs have grown up with other people. Right now, Stavros is under the management of his veterinarian for the Wallace syndrome, as you know. And the vets will advise what happened. I've reached out to the Kirby Madden Clinic to see what's going on with that, to investigate that, because I heard possibly they might be able to help us. I don't know exactly what's going on with it. But it's something I'm gonna pursue, at least to, look into.
Okay.
And we're also looking into for a trainer. Our problem is we've come across a lot of trainers that just wanna do it virtually.
Or that aren't, I'm sorry. No, it's not my turn to speak.
But so we are looking into that, and with Patrick, what was his last name? Martin. And he's probably very, very well known from around here. And we're looking at to see about, something could be done maybe about the dog aggression. But it's definitely not towards people,
Okay.
definitely not. And she wasn't attacked, she was knocked down, yes. But that was in the process because she had a dog behind her and my dog was pushing past her to get to her dog. But that's all I really have to say.
Okay.
Can I say one more thing?
Coral Lynn?
Yeah. My name's Coraline. Before I like to start this, I like to say that I am a child and I'm under 165 pounds. I had gotten bit by Starburst. It was my fault actually because I had came home with 2 brand new cats that he had never met, and I had brought them into the house without the dogs being able to meet him and everything. So I had walked out the room, the cats had gotten unleashed, and my grandmother was like, the cats. And I think I had pushed her over or something to get the cat, she hadn't been knocked over. So I think he had took that as me hurting her and harming her because there was yelling around and everything. So I had bent down. As I had bent down, I had pushed her down. And then I had the cat in my left hand and I was standing down. He had tried to nip at the cat and he had gotten at my arm. And you could tell by my arm's thin. And there wasn't too much damage. I had bled a tiny bit. I had spoke to the cops and everything. And they didn't think that it was as serious, him coming towards me, more so going towards the cat. And my grandmother, he loves my grandmother. So to see her get knocked down and tumbled over, it kind of really I think it startled him to see her get hurt. And that's just pretty much what I'd like to say. I've had no other problems with Starburst. He's been fine with me. I have 3 younger siblings. I have a younger sibling who's 14, one who's 2, one who's 3, and they've all been around Starbros, and nothing has ever happened towards them or anything like aggressive towards them. He's never nipped at me, he's never bitten at me after that, even before that. And after that, he felt so bad, like it was so bad, like he wouldn't even really come out the room after that, and that all happened and everything. So I would just like to put that out there, and that's all I really have to say.
Okay. Kenneth?
Yep, that's me. Hi, I would like to state, my name is Kenneth Edward Standy. I am an employee of Samaritans for Cape and the Islands Suicide Hotline and Prevention Center.
Okay.
So therefore, I am a mandated reporter for the state of Massachusetts. I also work for 988.
Okay.
We also provided the photographs of the phone records of the actual messenger call. I would like to state that when I was on the phone, I seen everything go down. I also saw the lady pepper spray the dog and wouldn't allow Jay to get to his dog in time to be able to restrain his dog. Jay was about maybe 10 or 15 yards away, but that's what I saw on the phone. We have the phone records and everything. I've done that, and I can also get them from my T-Mobile carrier, if that's what else you need. And I can also get the video footage through my messenger, so you guys could see that too. At no point did Jason sick his 2 dogs on her, smoke a cigarette, and sit there and watch. That was not true. That is a false truth. The lady, I did not see her get bit. From what I could see, I saw the phone moving around, Jay grabbing one dog, and then trying to get the other dog, and then that's what I did see. Also too is my mom is disabled with multiple sclerosis, so she would be unable to run on a beach with sand to go and get the other dog, so I would like to make that clear too. With that, I would also like to say is that those dogs are not violent towards people. Unfortunately, I do feel that, from the dog being pepper sprayed while it was in a heel position did provoke an attack on her dog. I bring my wife and my kid around those dogs all the time. There's never been an incident. They've never been aggressive towards them, anything like that.
Okay. Kevin?
Yes, my name is Kevin Tevz. I'm a good friend of Jason and Kendra. I've known them for a while. I've met those dogs when they were puppies. There's times I'd go over as the puppies, then it was, I'd say, a couple of years before I got to see the dogs, and then next time I saw them, they were big. I've never seen them be aggressive to anybody. I have babysat them twice. They have laid down with me. They could have attacked me if they wanted to, if they were vicious. Nothing happened to me. I've never seen them do anything to anybody. I have walked them with Jay. They have never tried to lunge at anybody or any other dog. From the story they've told me, I was in complete shock of the situation. I couldn't believe what was going on. But like I said, I've known for a while, those dogs to me are like sweet puppies to me. Even though they're big, to me they're just little sweet gentle giants. I believe they wouldn't even harm anybody.
Okay. Gentleman who arrived late, are you planning on providing additional testimony in this hearing today?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so if you are, please just raise your right hand. And do you solemnly swear that the evidence you're about to give in this matter is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Oh, I skipped somebody. I'm sorry. Joshua.
Hi, my name's Joshua Marks. I'm friends with Jay and Kendra for like 13 years. I don't go over there too much because I'm working a lot, but when I do go over there, them dogs are always put up nice. I mean, they bark, but they're not, and I'm a stranger to them, so, they bark, but I've never seen them be aggressive. I've walked with Jay when he's walked the dogs, and I don't see them lunging or barking or going towards any other people or anything like that. They're always contained, and yeah, they're intimidating because they're big, but You know, when I go over there, the worst I hear from them is barking, that's about it. They sniff you, and there you go. I've never seen them attack or growl or be aggressive to anyone in any way while I've been in the Standy residence.
Okay.
I don't really have too much to say about that, but yeah, that's the truth.
Okay. Which of you two gentlemen would like to speak first? Just make sure you identify yourself.
My name is Michael Samuelson. I'm a friend of Jason and Kendra's. I'm a newer friend of theirs. I had met the dogs not too long ago. There's been a few times where the dog has come out and barked at me and has been right in front of me, and I have been able to say, you know, hi, or like, what do you want? And the dog has not shown any aggression or lunged at me or come at me in any way whatsoever. He just barked. The other day, I was standing outside the fence at his house, and Starburst jumped up on the fence, you know, and was barking. And I told him to get down. And he listened right away. I had never, ever spoken to that dog before. I've just been around that dog. And I feel that's a key point in this situation because he is not an aggressive dog towards humans.
Okay.
Hi,
Hi.
my name's Moses Riley. I'm an ordained Nancy minister and substance abuse counselor. I'm in the state. Jason's my ex-brother-in-law, and I really don't have much to say, only that because I haven't really hung out with the dogs, I just see how they take care of their animals and how they take care of their grandkids and their kids. So they're very attentive to the animals. They're always clean washed. You come to the yard, they bark, but what dog doesn't bark when you come around the yard? I mean, like, it's a dog without a voice box. I mean, so I just, I walk right up to the fence and they're not aggressive. And, you know, if you tell them to sit, they'll sit. So, but I think the only thing I can add is, you know, I'm not running through the woods with their dogs. I just can add that they take care of their dogs and they're very sensitive to their needs and watch them around other people. You know what I mean? So I'm a strong believer, have your dog on a leash, because I've had dealings with 20 years ago with the dog officer, so
I would agree with that statement, yes. I'm also a big proprietor of dogs being on leashes.
Yeah, so. But they do get away, dogs.
Okay. So at this time, Patrolman Officer Stoner?
Good morning. Like Amy said, on February 10th, I was working eve shift. For the purposes of this forum, the report that was prepared from the shift that night, it's a preliminary report. Police officers, at least in Massachusetts, are not trained at a basic level to be an expert on dog bites, dog attacks, anything. It's just our observations, what we see, what we're told, and from there the investigation gets forwarded to the Animal Control Division. I'll just speak a little bit about what was told to me by both parties. When I spoke with Mr. Derrick, he stated that he was walking his dogs, they were loose and ended up going after another dog. He did sustain a injury to his left middle finger, which Hyannis Fire assisted in rendering first aid to that. He was not sure at the time as to what dog inflicted that injury. He did state that he knew that this occurred when he was trying to get his dogs, Starburst and Nimbu, off of Miss Govanda's dog, Tara. To me, both dogs appeared to be very aggressive and agitated. For personnel safety, we didn't allow them to be out of the vehicle and checked on while personnel was on scene. Ms. Cavanda sent me an email, which again was read, but on scene, she stated that she was walking her dogs, her dog on the beach, and she was attacked by 2 dogs on the beach. She also explained to me that this incident she described was the dogs ripping her dog apart. And CIO Percy, who works for the Barnstable County Sheriff's Office and does criminal investigations for us, takes the photos whenever we have an incident, injuries, some sort of crime involved, anything like that. In this case, obviously, it was just documented injuries. Responded to Ms. Cavanda's residence and took photographs of the dog at the time and any injuries, redness, marks, anything like that on Ms. Cavanda. To speak on that, Mr. Derrick was not photographed because his injury was bandaged before CIO Percy arrived, so his injury was documented on my body cam before he was bandaged. And that's my testimony.
Thank you. Senior Animal Control Officer Charlie Lewis.
Good morning. Records reflect that I did serve the hearing notice in hand to the dog owners. I did receive the report from Assistant Animal Control Officer Cindy Sherman that has been read into the record. To date, there's been no additions that I've been informed of. I did receive a copy from the police department, went over it, and as a result, I issued the required quarantine of 10 days. During that time frame, I went by the house a couple times a day to make certain that there was no violation of any quarantine order. I did receive a copy of this hearing request and a short report that's been read into the record from Ms. Cavanda, and I have some photographs as well that were submitted. Everyone's had an opportunity to review them as well. In addition, as always, we talk about a history if we have one, and I did receive a report back on March 5th of 24. An incident occurred in Fairhaven. You've read that report in as well. Again, the process required that I quarantine the animal. Both animals were quarantined due to the fact that the individual that was bitten said that one dog bit her left hand and the other dog had bruised her right hand. That not being on site, I automatically quarantined both dogs. And they went through that process without incident as well. So that'll be it at this time.
Okay. So at this point in time, we'll go around again. If anybody has anything that they have remembered that they want to have added into the record, we can start with you, Diane.
Quite unclear that Mr. Derrick, number one, said he didn't know there was pepper spray. And then he said he saw me standing, giving commands to his dog. I was knocked over by his dog. So I would welcome the video that his friend is saying he has. And if Mr. Derrick was holding up video of me on the ground, yes, my pepper spray was in my pocket and it didn't work. So I tried while I was on the ground to try to spray one of the dogs off of my leg. And it was just head over heels. It was a nonstop melee of arms, legs, dog. But the dog knocked me down first and would never in my wildest dreams try to say stop to a dog or pepper spray at first. I've been a dog owner and a dog lover. I've owned a Doberman, I've owned a Shepherd. I would never spray a dog unless I was down being bitten.
Okay.
And it didn't work. So I don't know where he got that information. But I would welcome the video that you are speaking of.
Okay, and then Jennifer, do you have anything
Just,
to add?
and I don't, never, it's been a while, but I really appreciate that it hasn't, other than biting that young lady in the house, that it hasn't hurt any of the owners. That's very common. And it's usually a situation like Diane's. And I really feel for the wife because she has legs braces and the disability that she's struggling with. But I don't know why you'd put such a big dog on a lead with someone who is so disabled. A lot of times the problem comes at the top of the leash and not the bottom, but once it's there, it's there. Also, I would think you might want to look into, did he mention the asthma attack to the rescue people and was he treated for that? Because I remember that was not mentioned at all. And I just appreciate how hard a job this is, and I know how much people love their animals. But this could have ended up a lot worse, and the next time I think it will. And I just want that on record.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jason, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yes. First of all, I would like to mention that there's a big difference between human pepper spray and pepper spray meant for dogs. And that if by any chance Ms. Cavanda thought her pepper spray had been expired, she shouldn't have no longer been carrying it and switched it out for a new one. Also, if some random person was sprayed with pepper spray, wouldn't they defend themselves? I absolutely agree. They would fight with everything they got. You know, like that's what I think, you know. And that's how I believe this was instigated, that she sprayed my dog. I was about 20 yards away, saw her holding the canister out in front of her. I did not know that's what it was at the time until I saw the police report about 10 days later. Because no one told me at the scene it was pepper spray.
Yeah.
You know, I only saw my dog's symptoms after the fact with the sneezing and rubbing his face, which if I was told, I could have treated him properly. You know, and I could have given a better, accurate statement to the police at the time.
Sure.
Just as I had stated before, you know.
So I will say, with no other witnesses other than people who were, you know, in the room and potentially this video that I had no knowledge of until today, having actually seen the incident, what I do understand to be true at the very least is that one of the dogs did break free and run at Miss Covanda.
Right, it was an unfortunate incident. There's no ill intent, nothing like that.
Right.
My dog did show restraint by the fact that he did not attack right away. He sat down in front of her. He did not go after her dog. He did not try to go after her. He tried only to go after her dog. And he pushed past her. Yes, he did knock her down when he pushed past her to get to her dog. But that was in defense after she pepper sprayed him. Because I saw her with the canister in her hand. I didn't know at the time that that's what it was. I found out from the police report. And I think it's really sad that I had to wait to find out from the police report and that I wasn't able to properly treat my dog, you know?
It's been stated.
And I had also informed my vet of this and that told her what had happened with him. I said, I wish I knew or knew a way to be able to have helped him. Because he was acting kind of frantic, rubbing his face, sneezing, you know, and I didn't know what was going on. And my female dog,
Please stop.
My female dog only ended up joining in because she was all worked up from running. She saw the incident and tried defending me and her brother. There was no vicious intent at all.
Okay.
Well, you can talk next, I think. And, my wife is more than capable of taking care of these dogs. Her last dog was a Great Dane. We have never had any issues with big dogs. We've also had a Akita Shepherd, which she also was able to control.
Okay. Kendra, are you all set, or do you have anything you'd like to
No, I
add?
just wanted to make it clear, as far as me being able to take care of my dogs, you know, I'm not the only person that's ever dropped a leash or had a leash pulled away from them. You know, it happens all the time. But they do behave themselves, and I am capable of taking care of them. Like in the incident in the parking lot in Fairhaven. What had happened was someone came out from, it was in the shopping center, and we had just gotten the dogs washed at the pet wash. And I had my dog Starburst, didn't have Nimbu, because first of all, I can't control two dogs at once. And what happened was the person came out with the shopping cart, and she also had a, big tall thing in her hand, like on the ideas of like a mop, like a sponge mop type thing. And scared the heck out of me. I fall down. I mean, I didn't expect someone just to come out of nowhere. And scared the heck out of my dog. My dog jumped, and when he did, his claw actually hit her hand. And, cut her hand, like right in the middle. And, but they told me that it doesn't matter if it's a bite or not, it's still considered a dog bite, which I don't understand that at all.
That's state law.
But I did read it, I
Anytime
did
there's a
look
breaking
up.
of the skin,
Mhm.
it's considered a dog bite, whether it was a scratch or a bite. It's because the skin was broken, it has to be treated the same way. And that's for management of rabies transmission. So which is why anytime like if a cat scratches you, technically that cat should be put on a 10-day quarantine. If your cat bites you and it breaks the skin, if your cat bites another cat, if a dog bites a dog, if a dog scratches a dog and it breaks the skin, a quarantine is always issued because there was potential for that transfer, in spite of the fact that, most animals are kept up to date on their rabies vaccinations. It is a virus, and so it can still express itself even if they are vaccinated for that. We've all seen that in humans with COVID. And so for that reason, that's why it's treated the same as a dog bite, even if it isn't a bite, because the skin is broken at the time of the incident.
Well, other than that, and the fact that there was only one dog involved in it, because like I said, I can't hold two dogs. I mean, it's hard to hold one.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
understand, and again, this, obviously, both dogs were put on quarantine because this incident happened in a town that we don't have officers present. There was no way to tell, which dog from our end was the offending dog, given the information that was supplied to animal control, and given at the time that the victim information wasn't known until after the quarantines were issued. But it's stated that both dogs went through a 10-day quarantine and were subsequently released without issue.
Can I say something? There's something about that I don't understand, because when Charlie spoke about it, he said that my dog Nimbu was named as another attacking dog in that incident, and she never was involved in that incident at all.
I read what was supplied as the incident report into the record. I
I'll have
wasn't
to
there
contact
when this
Fairhaven about that
happened.
then.
Yeah, I mean.
Because there is some errors there, because there was
Yeah.
not both dogs.
Yeah, I mean, if you would like to, update their
Yeah.
record, from an incident that happened last year, that's fine, but doesn't have really any
Bearing on this right now, no, I understand that, I just
Exactly.
wanted to so I knew to do something about it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I did, I was wondering, because I looked up like, all that stuff with the dog laws and like in Massachusetts and stuff like that. How many strikes or,
It's not a strict thing.
oh, it's not a strike
No.
situation. I was just wondering, like, because I thought there was a level of, like, so many strikes and then they took the animal or they did something like that.
No. So, like back in the day, you could require that a dog be, like exiled from a town or, be euthanized due to an incident. That's not how Massachusetts handles things nowadays, which is why we have the framework that we're in right now. More often than not, incidents occur typically as a result of an accident, but they do occur unfortunately. And from that, recommendations are made that try to ensure that incidents like that don't happen again. And that's what these dog hearings exist for, is for that purpose. It gives everybody an opportunity to share their sides of the story, to speak to the temperament of a dog in question, especially if it's a dangerous dog hearing, and then taking all of that information into account to come up with an action plan just to, better ensure that these types of incidences don't reoccur.
All right, well, other than that, all I can say is, we haven't had, incidences in our neighborhood. They are going on 4, so it's been like 4 years. And they are very controlled. And we have a secure area where they're kept. And actually, my husband is working right now on even making a new part to the fence. He's trying to make it more secure, also higher. So he's working on that as well right now.
Even though there hasn't been issues at home.
Understood.
And that's all I have to say. All set.
Okay.
They're not vicious as far as how Diane was talking, and we would never go and stick our dogs on people.
Understood.
I wouldn't risk my dogs like that. Oh, can I add something? My phone was actually in my pocket, so the camera was in view, as much as it could have been, so.
Okay.
Hi, Kenneth Standy. I would also like to state, in the police report, the complaintee stated that she did discharge the pepper spray. She never stated that it did not work. She stated that it was ineffective due to being expired, not from not working.
Okay. The video footage, was that submitted to the town manager's office in any way, or is this new information being brought forth in this hearing?
This is new information we brought forth. I have the photos of the actual messenger time stamps. I believe it was around like 4:20, 4:30 when it had happened. I can get all the video footage. I just gotta go through my Facebook and summons that, or however they do get that, and I can also get it.
Okay, if that's something that you want to submit to the town manager, to further review, I would request that you do that sooner than later.
Okay.
Because typically we try to get recommendations, to the town manager based on dog hearings within a reasonable amount of time. So I would say, you would have to do it either today or tomorrow.
All right, I can try and do it
End of the business
as fast as possible.
But then also recognizing that once it becomes a matter of public record in this way, that it can be, acquired by other parties through a Freedom of Information Act request and may be brought up, at a later date in a subsequent civil follow-up.
All right, also too is we have the photos of the timestamps from the messenger that are in there, so you guys can see that they're there.
Yeah, and any of that you would like added to the record today, I just need to make copies of for the record. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay. Did anyone else in attendance on behalf of the defendants have anything else to add? Okay?
I'd like to add something if I can.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to state that, we may live in Hyannis, we are not rich by any means. We both are on disability, we both end up using food stamps to get by. It's not like we're very rich. We would never purposely endanger our dogs or possibly risk having any kind of legal battle that could possibly prevent us from being able to ever own anything in the future.
Sure.
So I just want to put that out there. Why would I purposely stick my dogs on somebody? Why would I risk my animals?
I understand.
I don't understand why it was made out that way, why it was made out that she fell on ice and hurt her elbow when she's on sand. You know, a lot of things don't add up with this story between the police report and what her other statements were to animal control and things like that. There's a lot of things that don't add up in this,
I would just
other
say,
than the actual facts of what happened. You know,
Right.
my dog ended up going after her dog. We know that.
right, the actual facts would have been, you know, if there had been like, you know, a
A video or a bike. Oh,
video
there was a
recorder at that
bystander,
beach
by the
that
way.
had, you know,
I-
seen the entire event take place. Because that did not happen and is not possible to attain, it all has to be based on testimony, and any one person's own interpretation of a traumatic event can differ,
Right, I understand that too.
so.
I did want to mention that when the incident happened and I got my dogs off of her, Diane was refusing to move herself away from the situation, just yelling accusational statements at me. Like, why would you do this to me? Why would you sick your dogs on me? I'm like, I didn't sick my dogs on you. I just want you to get up and move away and get to a safe place. And I'm like trying to express this as best I can because I'm having an asthma attack. I'm trying to do the best I can to hold my dogs. I wasn't standing there over her while my two dogs, I mauled her and her dog having a cigarette. Having a cigarette was the last thing on my mind, you know? Especially seeing I had been having lung problems and just seen the lung doctor and was on prednisone and antibiotic for such. Yes, I do smoke cigarettes, but you know, I wasn't smoking one at that time, that's for sure, especially after running down the beach. I'm gonna run down the beach and then smoke a cigarette when I have that severe of asthma attack. No, I didn't. I was on the ground, barely able to hold my dogs in place because of the asthma attack I was having, because you have to run that far down the beach, 100 yards approximately, you know? And, you know, I'm just glad my dogs show restraint. I'm remorseful about what happened. I'm very deeply sorry that her dog got hurt in the process and everything. You know, but there was no ill intent.
Understood.
And my dogs showed restraint by not being worse than they really were, honestly. And I feel that they were just showing that they were acting in defense.
Okay,
That's all I have to say.
okay. Officer Stoner, is the body cam footage something that we'll be able to review?
Yes, it can be requested through the records department.
Okay. Did you have anything else you would like to add?
I do not.
Okay. Senior ACO Lewis?
Just for the records, both dogs were not licensed at the time of the event, but they since have been corrected, and they were within days.
Actually, same day.
And also,
Sorry.
I would point out with rabies, it's a saliva transmission, it's not through blood. So when there's an open wound, could be through a fingernail,
Thank you.
could be through somebody that takes and has saliva on their hand and touches their eye, through a tear duct, there can be a transmission, which is why the dogs are quarantined. And when you have 3 dogs, you all get quarantined. That's the way it is. That's a decision that's made by the animal inspector per the state regulations.
Okay. So,
Add one more thing, please.
if you have something that you would like to add, Diane, we'll start back with you. But I do believe we are getting to a point where we've heard just about all testimony that's pertinent to the incident that took place on February 10th. But go ahead.
Mr. Derek just mentioned that I said he sicked his, I never said that. I never accused you of anything. I was down on the ground, and the only time after your dog knocked me over is when I had pepper spray that did not work.
I
So I
understand.
never stood there and said commands to your dog.
I understand
never
there are two
sat.
differing accounts of what exactly happened at the time of the event. Obviously, we could stay here all day arguing who did what and who said what. I'm not going to do that. So unless you have something that is pertinent to the event that happened in relation to the temperament of the dogs at that time, I do believe that we have heard everything we need to hear to make a recommendation to the town manager regarding the incident. So at this time, it is 11:20, again on March 6, 2025, and I'm closing this hearing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're all set.